Welcome to another episode of Reseller Information Network. We're on episode 24. We had guest appearance last week. From the least of all guest appearance was a little Michael Jordan sighting. But man, we were so pleased and happy to have Daniel and Frank come and hanging out with us last week. So once again, we do thank those guys for being part of the show. And each and every one of you guys that tuned in. And if you haven't, there's still time. It's still there. It's back in the library. Just go and check that one out. Really inspiring episode. We're looking forward to another fun one today and got some viewer comments that we want to go ahead and dive into. First of all, Angie Resells. Angie Resells from Let's Do Lunch podcast. Guys, if you're not checking that out, it typically comes on right before us on Fridays. So if you missed it after you finish watching this episode, go on back and check them out as well. Said, love seeing Danielle and Frankie on this episode. So great that Frankie has his own business that Danielle is able to help him establish. She is amazing. Sal's Market. No, Mercado. Sal Mercado. I'll give you Italian instead of Hispanic. How about that? A little Sal's Mercado, the marketplace. He said, became a better human today by watching RIN. The tip around automatic feedback is clutch. Sleeping good tonight. Keep on living your truth. Much love from Sal. Sal, we appreciate you watching. Some guy's trying to make $685 a day on our channel as well. He says, trust because you're willing to accept the risk, not because it's safe or uncertain. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's making $625 a day. I don't know if he's trusting the process or what it is. For us, we've got our own thing going on as to how we make money, and that is in large part due to reselling. So that's why we're here sharing the information. We're not the only authorities out there. There's plenty of other people that have different ways of doing things, but we try to do our best to share with you what we know. And if we don't know, we're looking to find somebody to help you. So we try to bring in guests all along and let them share their journey. So as always, we got our guys with us today. We're going to go ahead and give some introductions here. First up, we got, man, always sporting a different old school hat, man. We got to do it, right? We got to pull it out of the fresh off the presses and get it on out here. Cernoch, what's going on?
What's going on? I got the St. John's River Big Mouth Open.
Where'd you get that hat from, Cernoch?
I was just gonna say it. Got it from my guy Tim right here. Okay, blessed me with. I love it. It's denim. It's a snapback. No mesh, but I love it. It's all denim. Big old patch. Big old bass. So, and I got some other hats today to show y'all. So, you know. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to a great episode, and yeah, episode 24. We should have had like a 24. Remember, 24. Not the movie, the TV show. We should have done something with that.
Oh yeah, 24 hours.
Yeah,
we have a little bit more than 24 hours with episodes.
Dude, we should have done a 24-hour listing and loping marathon. No way.
I'll do it.
But yeah, we got a great episode for everyone, guys.
We'd have to split that thing up. It'll be like
take.
What was the guy years ago, a few years back, that fell asleep on his live stream? He was just knocked over there because that'd be us about 23. I know Leroy's actually participated in one of those 24-hour listings
and completed it.
Yeah,
completed it.
I did the 8 hours, man. That was enough for me. I was cooked after that. But as always, we have Tim with us today. Somebody tried to get a little ahead of the game today and listening and loafing, and they were trying to eke out the 7-Eleven points. So which we said, man, that's an RIN exclusive. We got to save it for later. So come and check that out. Tim,
hope everybody is doing well. It is another day in paradise here in Washington, D.C. We are excited about another great episode of Reseller Information Network. We got a lot in store for everybody. just a little brief reminder. I want to let everybody know. Please make sure you guys are watching this. Leave a comment of a question. Leave a comment in the form of a question because it is very helpful for us to be able to have some guidance as to some information that you guys are looking for. And don't ever feel like a bad question is something it's not here. Any question? Let me rephrase that. There are some bad questions out there, but for you guys, it's okay. You guys can ask any question you guys want. We're here to help. I will give you guys an update. There is another milestone that has been crossed, another threshold that has been explored, another barrier of a door knocked down. It is 108,000 711 points. We are now at 108,091 711 points. So we're super excited about that. Here at Over the Years on our quest to 1 million 711 points. Got a long way to go. I got to figure out how to start making more points because they might not have 711 points by the time we get to 1 million. But we're on our way, and we are on our way to another great episode of Reseller Information Network.
Tim, I will tell you this, man. I went to 7-Eleven, and I typically have not been until Tim started like really talking about this thing. I would never think to even punch in a number. But I got a little baby account growing. We're up to about 3,400. I can almost get one Slurpee. We're working towards it, but I have to be more diligent. I will say that 7-Eleven has the cheapest Celsius around, and I've become a huge fan of that. So I typically do go in there. Man, next up we got Leroy. He's coming from, man, a little outdoor action. He's not in the van. He's not in the warehouse. He's like, man, let's get out here into some of the sunshine. Leroy, what's going on?
What is going on, everybody? Listen, I hit a milestone as well. I'm very excited about it. I almost finished my bag of popcorn. So if you see me eating this throughout the show, it's okay. Don't be upset. Don't be jealous. I got to eat. I'm 260 pounds. I'm a big man. I need to eat. But all kidding aside, guys, I really appreciate you guys. 25 is next week. I keep jumping ahead because it's incredible. We have good conversation here. We learn. We help each other. We grow. Pat each other on the back. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes it's just a lot. And being here with these guys and you guys helps me every day. I ask just as many questions as everybody else during the day. If you watch our Tuesday show on Reseller Information Network from 9 until 2, you'll see me in 19 different locations. Me and Tim, we like to battle and see who could be in a different place every 15 seconds. So, guys, I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys learn stuff and ask questions, even if it's an individual question. If you have a question just for Cernoch, if you have a question just for Eric, you can just ask those as well. It doesn't have to be a total resell, thing, just something with the reselling, but in our niches. Thanks, guys.
Can I just say one thing? Okay, listen. Right now, if you buy one Jack Link's Jerky 10-ounce bag, you automatically get 3,000 additional 711 points.
What?
Just throwing that out there. That's
Dude, that would almost double my point total. Like one bag of Jack Link's Jerky. Like double
3,000 points, man. You buy 2 of those, you're 6,000 points, man. Like, you gotta go buy some jerky. Josie's gonna be like, "What is all this beef jerky?" Just trying to get 711 points. It's a good snack. 0 calories, right? And something like that. All right, back to the program.
Yeah, we're fixing to go into survivalist mode. We got the beef jerky backed up. I think it would be hilarious if you go around and you got like beef jerky bags all over the place in different locations. Just random shoot. Like, what, Tim? What's going on here? Like,
it expires April 11th, though.
Oh man, this is great. Hey, so we're gonna go ahead and jump in with today's 101 with our buddy Tim.
Okay, so today's 101 is going to bring us to 7-Eleven, where we're going to show you guys how you can get 3,000 7-Eleven points. All right. So all you have to do is buy one 10-ounce bag of Jack Link's. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so today's 101 is going to be fun because I don't even really know if I'm going to remember how to do this right because I'm so bad at this. But for those of you out there that have a eBay store, there is something that comes along with that store. There's a lot of things that come along with that store, but one of the biggest things I think that we all enjoy the most that comes along with that store is
Free
free
stuff.
money. Okay, and what we're talking about is a $50 shipping supplies coupon, which is given to you by eBay. So I'm going to do this right now, live. Well, not live, but live, kind of live with you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to share the screen. I'm gonna bring this down here. Okay, here we go. Do 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 do. Whoa 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 whoa. What are we doing here? Select window or screen. Okay, I guess we're gonna do this one. All right, we're gonna allow. Okay, so bringing this in here in the mix. Whoa, that's always trips me out when we do that.
Woo!
Okay, so we're gonna go here. All right, we're gonna go. So can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in the seller hub. Okay, so you're in your seller hub. Then you go down here to store. All right, and then once you get down to store, you're gonna click on manage subscriptions. Okay, and that's where we are right here, right now. I have a premium store. I pay $59.95 a month. Okay, so now we're going to go to subscriber discounts. All right. Here you see you have some subscriber discounts, and right here you'll see we have a $50 coupon with a premium store subscription towards purchasing from the eBay shipping supplies store. So I guess next we're going to click on see details. All right. That's going to be my coupon right there. I don't know if I have to. I just copy this or do I just click on start shopping?
I think if you click start shopping, it should auto import.
I usually do this on my phone, so it's a little bit different. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we get $50 to spend here. Okay. I will tell you guys, do not make the mistake that I once made by thinking that you can buy one thing and then buy another thing. You have to put it all in your cart and buy it together. Otherwise, you'll waste your coupon. Okay, so we have all different types of stuff here. We got some boxes, some envelope, the infamous eBay tape. You also have the 1970s eBay tape, black and white. Thank you cards. You got padded bubble mailers. What else do we have here? You guys got water tape. That's new. I haven't think I've ever seen the water tape.
It stinks.
It's okay. So, is there more to see than just see all, or is this
Yes, there
There
is
should be a lot more.
it? Okay, you see, we're learning together here, ladies and gentlemen.
I think
All
they
right,
just put
so
it to like in that format as well.
you said what?
And they also changed the format, obviously, when you click that too.
Oh, okay. Yes. So we also have these craft bubble wraps, bubble bags, tissue paper. That's exciting.
A waste of
Tissue paper, black and white, some more eBay stickers. So that's everything. That's everything right there. Okay. So generally, I use this for boxes. Okay, because boxes can get a little bit expensive. So what we're gonna do is we're probably going to order some. I thought I saw some 8x8x8s. Am I tripping? Here we go.
Right there.
All right, so we got some 8x8x8s. So we're gonna click on that. All right. We're gonna do one quantity because I like to mix it up. I don't want to buy all the same box. All right, so we're going to add that to our cart. Oh, I just have to choose an amount. Wait, I can get 50? No, we're gonna do 25 boxes. Okay. We're going to add that to the cart. All right. So it's adding to my cart now. And then so that's $33.88. So that leaves me with 2 makes 9, 12 makes 34, $16.12. Okay. So now I'm going to X out of this, right? Boom. We're back here. Now, obviously, there's not going to be anything here that's going to be $12. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, spend a little bit of money here live on Reseller Information Network with you guys. Now, this is where I get into the debate. Do I want 10 by 8 by 6s or do I want 8 by 6 by 4s?
What kind of hats you selling?
Well, I mean, I use it. This is tough. What do you guys think? Should I go 8 by 6 by 4s or 10 by 8 by 6s?
I use more 8 by 6 by 4 than anything, but it really depends on what you're selling.
It does depend on what I'm selling. I sell a little bit of everything also. Cernoch, what's your vote? 8 by 6 by 4, 10 by 8 by 6?
Well, I do a majority of hats, so I always go for
do
the
10 by 8 by 6s. Yeah. And Leroy wants to say that he only uses poly bags. But okay. All right, I think I already still have some 8 by 6 by 4s left over right now. I think I'm lower on 10 by 8 by 6s. So this goes back to a previous 101 where we talked about, being ahead of the game. Don't order stuff when you run out. So I think I'm going to go with the 10 by 8 by 6s because they are lower in my inventory right now than anything else. So we're going to go to 25 boxes. We're going to add that to our cart. Now we're going to go to our cart. I also have some baseball cards in here. We're going to save that for later. All right. So now we are in the checkouts situation. I'm going to go to checkout. Hopefully the coupon is initiated. It is not initiated. Oh, there we go. Down here, we're going to use coupon. Okay. And so it's only going to be $16.77. And then you're going to click on confirm and pay. And then you will get some boxes. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you use your eBay coupon 101 style. Now, let me just go here really quick and actually do that before I forget. Oh, what happened? I lost everything. Are you guys still there? There we go. Okay. Checkout, confirm, and pay. So I just got 50 boxes for $16.77.
There you go.
Nice.
Fantastic. Great job, guys. Thank you for joining us for 101. Hopefully that'll help somebody who maybe has using their coupon for the first time or somebody who's used the coupon for multiple times and forgets kind of how to do it. So that's your 101 for today.
Nice.
It's actually way easier to find it than it used to be. Remember, you used to have to find the backdoor access somewhere to get in there to use the coupon. They've actually made that a lot easier.
And they expire. So make sure you use it before they expire. Your coupon, if you have a coupon, your coupon will expire on Saturday. Saturday's the 1st, or is it Friday? So Friday. Sometime. Don't push your luck and do it before. Right after you watch this episode, you should probably go on eBay and use your coupon.
So you could almost do like if you catch this on the 31st and you get a chance to use your previous coupon, then you could come again on the 1st and order again if you wanted to. Yep. Like it's one of those things you get a new coupon. Depending on your store level too. Like if you have a lower level store, you get a $20 coupon. If you have upper level, you have 50. I don't know.
It's kind of crazy because if you think about it, it's almost like that coupon pays for my store, right? Like I'm only paying $9 for my subscription. The other $50 is basically in supplies.
Yeah.
Right.
But you pay every month for your store, so it basically pays 4 times out of the year. Yeah. So you're paying a quarter less for your store.
Thank you for pointing that out to me. Yeah. As I said prior to the pressing of the record button, my brain is a little fried.
Yeah, you get basically almost like a 25% discount on your store. Is about where you're at. Pretty close.
Well, the math is not mathing right now.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so next up, we're gonna go ahead and jump into, as always, the trendiest guy I know, Cernoch.
What's going on? All right, we're gonna do a little what's trending and what's maybe even a little deep dive. Okay, so baseball is just now wrapping up spring training. Baseball is getting closer and closer to opening day. Tim, when's opening day?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I think.
Okay, so
today,
by the time y'all see this, opening day will have already kind of come and go. But hey, it's the start of the baseball season, and I always tell everyone at the beginning of every sports season is the time to jump on the items you have. Maybe, and if you don't have them listed either. Baseball season, guess what? Everyone has that hope right now that their baseball team is going to be good. Okay? Now, you see trends of like what sells and like what teams sell throughout the season. And I can tell you, if a team is hot, you're going to sell. If a team is not hot, it dumps off. Okay? But at the beginning of the season, that's where you can really strike gold. Everyone starts off with the same record, 0-0. Okay, so so it takes months before you go, yeah, our team ain't making it. You know what I'm saying? So everyone's team's even now. Everyone's excited about their baseball team. So let's get into selling what I love to sell most, hats. So we're gonna talk about baseball hats and some of the brands I want you to look out for. Now, I'm gonna start kind of at the low, like what to buy and like what not to buy. And I know, other sellers do other things. I will tell you, you're kind of like your fan favorite general merchandise stuff. This is a little bit lower end type hats. You can tell with like the quality of it, the build of it. It's got the hook and loop, or what a lot of people call Velcro. Just don't put it on eBay. It's got the Velcro strap and everything like that. So this is a what I call a lower end hat, and you'll see like that. And then also at the thrift, you may see these hats. Okay, these hats that say Team MLB. They've got the Velcro strap, and you'll see the OC Sports right here. Okay, these are made. Okay, a lot of people don't know this. These are made for Little League baseball. Okay, anywhere from 8 years, like my 8-year-old got one last year that looked very similar to this. Okay, so this is what they're handing out for Little League now. All right, it's a little bit different from when I grew up in Little League, but you're going to see that OC Sports or something close to it. Something like that. Again, you can definitely take a look at the build quality. So usually I pass on stuff like that. Another thing too, you've got like kind of like what they call like bootleg hats. Something, you see something like this Mets hat. Again, it's still got the Velcro strap, but inside you got a label. It's that right there, and it's just like one size fits all, made in China label right there. Bam. I mean, maybe it's a bootleg, maybe it's something else, but I usually steer clear away from these hats. And then also, if you find other hats like this, usually on this Pacific headwear, this is more of your high school teams or your older teams. They wear this. Now, the construction of these hats are a little bit nicer, okay? But still, it's not MLB. Even if you have something like, that maybe look like MLB, it's not anything associated with MLB, especially if it's on a Pacific headwear. All right, now we're going to dive into some, different style hats. And I'm going to first I want to talk about New Era, because New Era has the baseball hat on the lockdown. Okay, but there's other brands called like 47 brand that make hats, and they make some of the more kind of like more dad hats, more affordable hats. You'll see right here, 47 brand. Okay, this one's okay to pick up. You're not going to hit the jackpot with these. These usually I sell around like 12 to 15 range, and then you get into your New Era hats. Okay, and you have different levels of New Era. Usually you find it like in the stitching right here. So you'll see this is a 920 hat. Okay, kind of more a dad hat. It's got the strap back. A good hat, good, nice constructed hat. But it's it's a little bit a lower level for New Era. And then you have the 3930. Okay, this is you're moving up there now. You're moving up there. This one is fitted, but they do a more of like a meat. You know, they go that medium large. It's got the flexi fit. So those are good. And now we're going to get into some of the more what I like to look for are called what they call the 5950s. Okay, the 5950 hats are the ones you want to look for. Something like that. You know, hey, they've got little Baltimore Orioles inside the 5950. Okay, I do really well on these hats. These are like the fitted hats that they sell at the baseball games, and each one has a size. Now I will say with the sizing, try to pick up something. I rarely pick up kids hats because kids hats don't have a good sell-through rate. So anything in your anything that starts with a 6, I kind of steer clear of, because that's like 6 and 7 eighths is a real popular hat, but that's for like a 10-year-old to 12-year-old boy. Usually anywhere from like 7.5 or 7 1/8 to 7 7/8 is where I like to stay. Now you can get some size 8 hats, but they are some big bucket hats. But I like to pick up the big hats too, because you can't really they're harder to find out there for people with little larger heads. So if you see even the largest I've seen was an 8 and 1/4, and I tell you what, that swallowed my head. It was coming down over the ears. But you got some dudes out there, or even ladies like to wear some of the bigger style hats over their hair. So they'll push it down over their hair and everything like that. So 5950 is what you want to look for. Okay. And throughout the years, the labels have changed, but the quality has stayed pretty much the same. Here's an older style 5950 right there. You'll see it right there. It's got the MLB authentic, 7 3/8. So when you're out there at the thrift, if you see at a good price, you want to pick them up for around $1, $2 a piece. But if you find 5950s, those are the ones you're going to want to grab, because those have the most resale value. So hopefully it helps you in determining what kind of baseball hats you want to. Now, football hats, basketball hats are all different because they have different suppliers and everything like that. But baseball, you want to look for the 5950 new era hat. And if you pick it up for $1, you're at least gonna sell it for like $20 plus. So hopefully that gives y'all some good information on hats and the upcoming baseball season. And let's catch that trend.
I just pulled one out of my pile of unlisted. Got the socks.
Oh, that's a cool one. It's
go.
mesh too, right? Oh,
Yeah. Mine's a 950.
There's different. There's 950.
Yeah.
920. Yeah. So, but I mean, again, that trucker hat style, that mesh back is very, very popular nowadays.
That's a sick hat, dude. But I'm not a White Sox fan, but damn, I like that little camo look they got going right there. That's pretty dope.
Back in the day, I actually did I talked earlier about I weren't a huge baseball guy, but when the Big Hurt was smacking them out, Frank Thomas, man, it's one of those things. But White Sox actually were a cultural kind of phenomenon.
Oh, absolutely. In the kind of like the hip hop world and everything like that. Yeah, even at school, we would turn that Sox logo into a dirty word with just a little black marker. Teachers hated it.
I got you. Yeah, but so Cernoch, man, thanks for once again the reminder. I was actually looking at baseball stuff today because I have the old Carolina Mudcat.
I will tell you right now, I am shifting over from jackets and boots right now. Now boots always sell, but I am definitely in my daily activities. I'm listing about 10 to 15 hats because they're easy. If you have a lot of hats, you can sort them by kind of style and subject matter to where you're doing the listing. Say you have a base like all these baseball hats, I will picture them all at one time, and then when I go to list, I'll have all the photos ready, and then I'll just do a listing. And guess what? Then I'll just go up to sell similar. Okay, I'll change the team, the color, the information, and then list it again. And then I'll, you know what, sell similar. And you can bang out probably 10 to 15 hats in probably an hour.
Oh yeah.
So if you're doing that listing, then man, that's 15 listings that you can already have set ready to go. Because I took during listing and loafing, I took pictures of 35 hats. So so I like to work because spring summer is the time to sell hats.
I was actually looking around to see if I had any other baseball hats around. I've got a Nationals hat, but it's got a cigarette pattern on it. Too bad. It's actually kind of a nice hat, but it's got right here on the bill, man. Like it's like somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, there ain't nothing you can do about it, man. Maybe a little. But what were you talking about? 59.50? Is that what you're saying?
59.50. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 7 and 3/8.
47.
And then in later episodes, if y'all want, leave it down in the comment section. If you want to learn a little bit more about hats, definitely leave a comment. I'll show y'all about the vintage hats now. Okay? But if y'all want it, let me know, and I can put it together, and we can show it about. Now, listen, I'm talking about $20 a hat with some of these 59.50s. Once you start getting into those vintage starters and the vintage sports specialty hats, the prices can get outrageous. Okay? So if you want that, put it down in the comment section that, hey, yes, Chris, I would love to know more about vintage hats, especially the starters, especially the sports specialties, and maybe if they have like a quick cool name with like style, like the shark tooth or the diamond, just let me know down in the comments below. So.
I've got a little thing for Cernoch that I did want to bring up about hats, only because I was wondering, Cernoch, like I've got this Titans hat. Is that Warren Moon autograph right there?
No.
You guys are never gonna let that one.
Oh man, you have to go back and replay. Actually, I think it is like some actually decent players.
Okay.
But
so what I will say about that hat is though, and I tell a lot of people don't like to hear this.
What is this right here?
Okay, I was just gonna explain that. If you find a hat with signatures on it, unless it is PSA certified or it has a COA, that basically right there is a stain on the hat. Okay? And people will hate to hear that. But again, I would rather have a cool vintage hat without a signature on it, because I've seen signatures actually bring the value down of these vintage hats.
Yeah, I actually, man, I had that same conversation with a guy who had a ton of NASCAR hats, and I was like, sorry, bro, like it's just not, I can't do it, because like originally I was thinking he'd be like $2 a hat. He's like, yeah, these are $10 a piece. I was like, hey, sorry, can't do it. Can't do it. Got a bunch of stained hats. Like that would be an interesting thing to look at. I know, obviously Tim is our resident sports guy. But as I wonder what the process would be for actually sending in a hat to get it verified.
You can do it. You can definitely do it. Obviously, I think sometimes with stuff like that, it's a little bit easier if you could find a card show where they're doing in-person COAs. But yeah, you can definitely you could send anything in. Obviously, you want to try either PSA, like Cernoch mentioned. JSA is another really popular authentication company. There's a few others. Beckett will also do some authentications on autographs. But generally, JSA is a really good one too. JSA and PSA are probably where you want to go as far as your autograph authentications.
Now, about how much does that cost though?
So it depends on multiple different things. So it's going to depend on the item, and it's going to depend on the person who the autograph is. So generally, it's based upon the value of the item if the item is authenticated on how much it costs to do it. But like I took a Mickey Mantle baseball in person to Beckett to get authenticated, and It did not pass, but it cost me like 50. It was either $50 or $100.
Yeah,
Yo,
But yeah,
yeah. 'Cause, yes,
Mickey
that's the
Mantle.
thing. That's what I've heard. It's depending on who it is or what it is, it can. I heard people say it starts at $50.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it goes higher.
it's a little pricey, but that's why if it's not necessarily worth it if the value of selling that autographed item is not significant, whereas you're paying money to get it authenticated.
Correct.
yeah, that's what I was curious about. Like, I don't I have any idea what it would be, um, like if it was autographed, but like end of the day, like it's one of those things. Definitely, you want to do some research before you
Mm-hmm.
just start sending things away. But, all right. Well, next up we've got our reseller hack with
What's going on, guys? Now, guys, listen. Here's the deal. I don't have any hats to show you. I ain't got nothing like these guys. I ain't got nothing to pull up on the screen. You're lucky I got internet. But but speaking of internet, that's going to be my thing today, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. So, listen. Here's the deal. You go on vacation. You're going to go to a meeting. You're going to go to your kid's baseball game, and you're a reseller, and you want to. Oh, I can go in the back. I can do a little bit. Well, you might not have internet there. You might have good internet at your home, but if you go to a relative's house, if you go away for a business trip, if you go, just there's so many places that you go that you're like, oh, you never even thought about that. You got to put thought into that. Think about, okay, I might move. Well, what's the internet like when I move? Oh, well, the neighbor's my aunt. Well, ask your aunt. Go to your aunt's house. Pull out your computer. See if you can check and see if the internet is fast. They have the speed test. Now, I am not an internet expert, as you guys can see, but I'm going to tell you right now, I jump around like Charlie Brown because what happens is if I'm inside the warehouse, it's good for a little while. Then if I go in another area, I have to switch to another I'm being off of another network. So like just sort of know your background, know where you can steal it from somewhere else. If you go to a hotel, they have Wi-Fi at the hotel, but you also can hardwire it in. Ask them at the desk. Say, hey, listen, can I hardwire in? Get a little adapter for your laptop and hardwire it in. You might get perfect internet. Like these are things that we don't really think about until it's too late. So I just really wanted to take the time and tell you guys, like, look into that. It sounds silly, but it's really not because I go through that issue all the time. Could you please put me on the screen with everybody so I can see you guys? But all being said, guys, any of these guys will tell you we all go to places where you think that you're good and golden, and you're in the middle of nowhere, and you can't give a reply, or sometimes you can't print something out. Like I sometimes have problems here at the warehouse where I can't. This is the only place I can print. All my stuff is set up here. It'd be so hard for me to print anywhere else. So you gotta put that in your head. Like, what's my next option? Is there somewhere else I can tap off of? Can I tap off of my phone where it's going to give me enough signal so I can print out my labels? If I can't print out my labels, I'm like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm scrambling. I don't know what to do. Not like Tim without labels. Without labels is a problem, but if I can't print my labels, not as an issue. And I don't have one of the printers that you can do Wi-Fi or anything like that. I'm pretty sort of old school with some of my stuff, but that's really was in my heart, guys, to tell you. Like, look into that, and if you guys have any suggestions about that kind of stuff, put it in the comments. You can put that in the comments too. Thank you guys very much for this little bit of time. And my internet die. I'm good, baby.
Right as you were saying that.
it's funny, yeah, like what timing, right? You froze actually right when it happened. I mean, it is a great point, guys, to think about not only just the internet but phone signal as well. Like I was in a situation yesterday where I was picking and can't get a signal, can't do any comps. Like kind of got to go a little, just use your gut a little bit. But there's things you can do, just like Leroy was saying, be prepared. There's things you can do. Like for me, I know this because I've seen other people do it. You guys, I know, have done it. I've seen it happen before. So for me, I was there. So you know what I did? I started popping pictures. I went down the road, got a signal, looked up some stuff, came back, picked it up, the kind of thing. Those are things you can do. The same, like you said, just go knock on them local hotels. Like just run you a cord out to the van, get it straightened out. I'm just kidding, Leroy. But yeah, I used to sell food, so I had a laptop with one of those wireless cards. Like if you're on the road a lot, that might be something that you could actually tap in through your phone service or something like that as well. Use hotspot, something along those lines. But that's a great point, because without the internet, we're all dead in the water. Like it doesn't.
I just come into that issue, even if it's not here. Like I said, there's a couple of times I've gone away on vacation, and you guys have seen me at Starbucks. I mean, we all know about Starbucks. Find out what place is the best, because I don't want you guys to get caught out there. And like I know inside I can go under the warehouses internet. Out here there's another business, and now I'm tapping into that business's internet. So there's just sort of have that plan already. I'm not like a super like Tim, like planning every. Tim will tell you in 5 feet you're going to turn left, in 8 feet you're going to take 2 steps over the step, and then you're going to go up 3 steps, take a left, turn your foot halfway to the right. I'm not like that kind of planning, but I have to have, with me, the way my ADD is and everything, I have to have another idea of what I'm gonna. I just have it's a plan, but I have to know what my next step's gonna be in case of failure.
Anyway, it sounds like to me like you've bought into the adapt side of what we talk about. Oftentimes, sometimes you got to come up with plan A, B, C, D, G, F, and the whole thing. You got to figure it out. So it's one of those things. Hey, we want to take a few questions now. I would tell you, like Tim has already said it in this. We need your questions, to be honest, and like you said, there is. It's funny. I've heard comedians talk about it. I've experienced this myself because I've had kids. Are we there yet? Yeah, that might be one of those questions to not answer. Are we there yet? I've heard the comedians say, "Hey, wheels are still moving. What do you think?" Yeah, what we like to do is get somewhere and just keep driving. That's what we like to do. But for us, as far as when it comes to reselling, we recognize and understand we all started somewhere. And most of us started in a place of we didn't know. And we wouldn't know unless we heard it, unless we talked to somebody, unless we did some research. So what we're asking you is if we can help you, then we'll be happy to help you. And sometimes we may share our opinions and the way we do things, and it may not work for you. But like that's what we want to let you guys know. This is a safe space. But like, feel free to ask questions. We will not look down on you about those things, and we really want to try to help you in any way that we can. And like I said, if we don't know, I'm not gonna blow smoke, and I know these guys won't either. We'll just tell you, hey, we don't know the answer to that, but we'll do some research. That's just what we do. So we're going to ask some questions right now that we have come up with from various places. So we're asking the expert with his first question because what about eBay's shoe authenticity program? And out of all of us, I mess with shoes a little bit. I know Tim messes with shoes a little bit. Leroy, he messes with shoes a lot. Like he puts his own in the morning, he takes them off, in the afternoon. But there's one guy here that messes with shoes more than all of us combined, and that is our resident expert, Cernoch. So what about this shoe authenticity program?
What's up with so I love the question. What's up with shoe authenticity? Because a lot of people, maybe they sell shoes, they're thrifted shoes, but they haven't gotten to that, the higher end shoes. Now, the program that eBay has, everyone at the beginning was like, "Look, what? I don't know about all this stuff." it sounds like it's trying to be StockX. Well, if you've heard the recent news with StockX and Nike are not happy with each other. Okay, so what that's leaving is, and you have other like places like Goat and other places you can sell shoes, but eBay has really become the place to sell shoes safely. I belong to sneaker groups, and I like to keep on the what's trending in sneakers, and but what I've seen is like a lot of people have like, yeah, eBay's authenticity program is awesome, and buyers and sellers love it, because basically what happens is if you sell a nice, good, expensive pair of shoes, you're gonna take those shoes and send it to eBay authentication. So eBay authentication gets it in, takes a look at the shoes. Now here's the thing: are the shoes as described? If you hey, these are brand new with the box, they're looking at the box, they're looking at the shoes, they're making sure they haven't been worn, or that they actually are brand new. So it's helping helping the buyers get exactly what they purchased. There's a lot of scams going around with shoes, and the fakes now, the replicas or the fakes or the counterfeits now are getting really, really good, where it's almost, this is why StockX is in a little stickiness with Nike right now, because the counterfeits have gotten so good. So eBay, has employed a lot of people. They actually have two authentication places in New York and in Las Vegas now. So it's like West Coast and East Coast. So if your buyer is on the East Coast, you send it to New York. If your buyer is on the West Coast, you send it to Las Vegas to get it authenticated. Now you're asking like, well, what kind of brands do they authenticate? They're authenticating the higher end brands like Yeezy, Jordan, Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Asics, Vans, Reebok, Converse, Puma, Balenciaga, Gucci, Prada, and the list goes on. You can definitely take a look at the list. And those are for shoes that are selling over. Now they've changed it, but usually if it's over that $100 to $125 range, it'll get sent to authentication. So those are definitely, I think those are definitely things that you want to do. Now, even also, they give you a free FedEx label now if it's going to authentication. So you're basically like, hey, you're not paying. You get a free label from eBay. Boom, you put it on. You put it in there. Now, what I do a lot of times is, instead of sending it in the shoes in a box, I will send it in a poly bag. The shoes in a poly bag to eBay authentication, because they repackage it into a box of their own with their little like authentication, like it's like it's not a sticker, but it's like a little like bubble thing where you can scan it with your phone and everything and bring up all the authentication. Now you're like, okay, well, Chris, that all protects the buyer, making sure they're getting shoes. Well, what about the sellers? Okay, now this is why I like authentication. Say you send off a pair of shoes, $300 pair of shoes. They go through authentication. Now, if there is a return, it has to go back through authentication and hit it has to hit all of the points that when it left. You know what I'm saying? So if you sold a brand new pair of Jordan, say the Jordan 3 breads that came out last year. Yours are dead stock, never been worn, never been on a foot. And say they got them in and they wore them out, like flexed on them, took pictures with them, and then boxed them back up. Well, guess what? When it goes back to authentication is going to be like, yo, these shoes have been worn. They didn't come in like that. So they can deny a return. So there were stories about people selling $500 Jordans and getting a return, and it's a box of rocks.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is a protection for the sellers itself. So if it comes back, I've talked to numerous people that have had a return come back, or like have to go through authentication, and authentication goes, these ain't the right shoes. They just put another pair of shoes in there and sent it back. Or, hey, these shoes have been worn. These aren't brand new. These aren't dead stock anymore. No, reject it. So it's to protect both the buyer and the seller. So hopefully that asks some questions. There's more information. There's a whole information you can. But what I say is, if you do that, definitely read up on it. You can just Google eBay authenticity program, and it'll show you how it works. It's been very successful. Every week I'm sending shoes to authentication, so that gives me like an added layer of protection, for myself and for my business. So hopefully that helps answer that question.
Yeah, I've used it a couple of times too already. One on a really, really expensive pair of shoes that I sold for Josie, some Ferragamos, and that passed authentication.
I know it's
Authentication.
authenticity, authentication.
Yeah, all of the authents.
Yeah.
It passed, so that was definitely felt good. And I sold some limited edition Snoopy Vans that also went through authenticity program. So it's definitely it seems to be working. They obviously offer that program too on some other items as well outside of shoes.
I know they do purses and watches
and cards too sometimes.
And cards,
on higher end sports cards. So I think it's the best point about what Cernoch said is the point about the return process of that too is absolutely huge. So that's a lot of good information there from Sir Cernoch. Not only just Sir Snapback, but Sir Shoelaces himself. Cernoch.
I got all kinds of shoes back here. Look, I got bags of shoes. You need those Converse? You need those bandana Sammy Baca limited edition Converse? I got you. I got bags of shoes back here that I need to take downstairs, and they're already listed. I just need to inventory them.
So on the shoe front, like if they're giving you free FedEx, so when you list your item, how does that affect your listing? Like, say if you put in, like I know a lot of us do, like if you're doing shoes, a lot of times I know for me, I'll do flat rate if they can fit in a certain box. Like if I know that they're going to be in a certain box. Clothing, a lot of times I will do that. So how does it affect that? Do the buyer still get charged, or nobody?
So the buyer gets charged $15. Yes, the buyer gets charged $15. It's a flat rate shipping.
Yeah.
So on their end, they'll see it, $125 plus $15 shipping.
Gotcha.
Free authentic.
So that'd be something, but you don't get the $15 yourself. It goes right to the.
Yeah. So all you do is just get a label. So when you're doing your listing, when you scroll down to the part where, the shipping part, it'll just switch. It'll just be like, boom. It'll like automatically switch. And, it won't allow you to put in like, oh, I want to do USPS or this or that. It'll just say free FedEx label. And then you just put in the weight and the, I usually put just 3 pounds and just put a, 14 by 8 by 6 in there. And it really doesn't matter because it's kind of like a standard label up to I think it's up to 7 or 8 pounds. So
if you got an 8-pound sneaker, that's doing a little something.
Yeah, you never know. You might get some Shaq 22s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it gives you a free label. You can't change it. Oh, and here's the one thing I've heard that a lot of people don't like with authentication. If your shoe is going through, so if you're a seller of shoes and your shoe is going to authentication, the communication, there is no communication with your buyer. You're unable to communicate with your buyer because everything has to go through authentication. So if they have to contact eBay. They cannot contact you and you cannot contact them. I know some sellers have gotten, I can't find the shoes or this or that, and it's put them in a weird thing. That's the only con I see with it is you can't. But I think it's there because they don't want people going, hey, where's my shoes, or is it done with authentication yet? They don't want those kind of things, or they don't want people trying to bypass the authentication.
Yeah.
Which I saw some sneaker guys trying to do, They're like, hey, I'll show you how to bypass authentication. I'm like, for me, I said that doesn't work in my business plan because one, I already
I'll
charged.
show you how to get kicked off eBay. Is what
Yeah,
I'm
like
trying to show
one
you.
already charged for shipping. So usually I do a flat rate of $12.99 on my shoes. So it's like $15. Like, all right, what's that? A couple, $2, $3 more. Who cares? Or $2 more. Who cares? And it's just it works for me. So they were trying to find a way around it. I basically told them like, hey, that's not my model, and I'm not gonna do that. So
There you go. Yeah, so for you guys that are the free shipping guys, just keep that in mind when you're listing those items. Like, because I know a lot of times free shipping guys will add back in extra on top of their price to cover the free shipping. So something to keep in mind if you're doing that. Next question we got is,
excuse me.
all right, Leroy. So what do you do when you authenticate your shoes?
So I'm gonna be smart enough, and I'm not gonna try to say that word. I'm gonna bring it back to the 80s to the 90s a little bit, and I'm gonna say it's the real, it's the real. You gotta ship those shoes so you can get the right answer. Okay, ship them out there, get the right answer for your sneakers, and don't try to say big words that you can't say because I can't say the big words. But no, all kidding aside, I'm actually gonna use that tomorrow with Cernoch. He's gonna teach me. I got a pair of sneakers that I got to do, so I'll be able to learn a little bit about that as well.
now, there might be a question on this. If your shoes do not make it through authentication for whatever reason, we have been told you do not get penalized for that. Okay.
Do you get them back?
You get the shoes back. Yes, they will send them back. So, but we have it. That was one of our concerns. Like, hey, are we going to get penalized if we send something? Because we can go deeper into this in a different topic, but I think like they have their standards, and sometimes they send back. Sometimes I think they send things back just because they, I got one like, oh, it's there's heavy glue on the right shoe, so I'm like, and I resold them, and they went back through authentication, and they were authenticated. So
there you go.
So if it comes back, and if it's not like, oh, that's a definite counterfeit. If there's something like, maybe like, because pre-owned shoes too, you can do pre-owned shoes, but for like new shoes, sometimes you maybe just wipe the bottom. Maybe they did, get. So just double check your shoes and make sure it's exactly as you described them. So.
There you go. And also, Cernoch has brought this up in a previous episode, and we're actually going to be dropping something. It might come out before this again, just as a reminder. But you can also, before you even list those shoes, run them through Check.
Yeah.
There is a link down below for Cernoch's link on Check. It costs you about $3, and you can know for sure whether I even need to list these things, if it's worth going through all that. So that's something you can look at as well. So check the link down below. Check. That's a good thing. Definitely. Next up, this question was brought to us by somebody here on the panel. Like he's coming to us live from the other side of the internet. But the idea is, what do you guys do? Daily or weekly payouts? Pros and cons for both is kind of what we're looking at. So Cernoch, what do you do? Daily or weekly? eBay is what we're talking about. Yeah.
I do daily payouts just because I like money, and I like it's like, I think it comes down just to discipline. You know what I'm saying? Versus so I tried the weekly payout. It was it worked. But I don't know, daily payout, you can. I feel like with daily payout, you can kind of like track it more, you know what I'm saying, and feel it out more, So, I mean, I do daily payout, but I don't think I think there's even a monthly payout option as well. I just like, I feel like I'm a little bit in more control with daily payout than weekly payout. So that's why I do it. I don't think I don't think it's bad either way. I just think whatever fits you.
Tim?
Yeah, give me my money. that's that's how I am. Yeah, just give me my money. I don't. There's no need for me to play around for a week, at all. I mean, even on daily, you don't get your money
You get paid
technically
out 4 times a week,
daily. So
essentially.
so like I don't even want to know what it would be like weekly. I might end up getting my money the whole point of doing this is so I don't have to wait for a damn 2 weeks for a paycheck. I mean, they're giving my money right away. So yes, daily money. Give me my money as soon as possible. I don't know how many other ways I could really say it. I mean, I guess I don't really know the con behind getting my money every day. Maybe some people want it weekly so that it kind of feels like a paycheck a little bit, which I can understand. But everybody's different. Everybody's cup of tea ain't Lipton, but yeah, give me my money. That's about all I gotta say about that. I want my money. Yeah, because you never know what's gonna happen, and if something crashes or something like that, or like I sell something, especially like when I sell something big, like, and I say I gotta ship it, like you never know like where your life's going to be. Like you might have your mortgage coming out at the same time if you don't have the different accounts and stuff like that, and it just makes life a little bit easier to know that money is coming in more than money is going out, even though I feel like money is going out more than money is coming in sometimes. So yeah, just give me my money.
Yeah.
Hilarious, hilarious. You guys know I'm always the opposite of these guys. That's why Eric has me on the panel. I'm always the opposite. I realize how much money that Cernoch makes. So I said to myself, if I can get paid once a week, I can get what he gets every day. So I don't feel bad. I don't think about the other 6 days. I say, okay, I made blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that's what Cernoch made today. One payout.
No.
But for me, I like the weekly payout, because then I can push my money wherever I need to push it, once a week. And like those guys said, don't go and think that you're gonna get weekly pay a daily payout. You're gonna get it every day. Boo Boo's a fool. You ain't getting it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it 3 out of the work week, maybe once on the weekend if you get it that. So they know better on that end. I've never even tried it, but for me, I like to do it. I like to do it that way. I do it want to throw something into this whole mix. Is also I know I have some friends that their shipping doesn't come out of their eBay. It comes out of their other personal account. Can we jump into that for 2 seconds because I do want to know what you guys is on that. I'm
I,
done.
I would tell you, first of all, I'll tell you, I do daily payout, and it's kind of along the lines of Tim and Cernoch. For me, I know, okay, so businesses, organizations, like the longer they hold your money, they're making money off your money versus you making money off your money. So if my money's in my account, I can make money off my money. Like if my money's in their account, they make money off that money. And I do think there is hiccups and stipulations on both sides a little bit. I mean, obviously we know it's not truly a daily payout, like they float it some. Is 2 days after you sell your item, you actually get paid. That's a little different than what it was before with PayPal. But we also know now they've instituted where you can pay a fee and get it a little quicker. I'm not on that program, but I do see for me like both sides of it. I see if you're very budgeted about what you're doing, and that's a whole other deep dive of discussion is knowing where you're at, right? Like knowing where you're at financially. So there's some people that resell as a hobby, and what happens is you end up spending as about as much as what you're making because you like it's just money in, money out, money in, money out. And you may be going out and sourcing. And if that's your plan, like say, my plan is I'm going to reinvest in my business for a year and then I'm going to start drawing a check out of it. But if you're like a lot of people and you're just, hey, I need to make money because I got bills coming, I got this coming, then, it may benefit you one way or another to do that. To either get a weekly payout or a daily payout. I'm a daily payout. I want to make sure my money's in my account, not somebody else's. That's just how I am. But as far as what Leroy was talking about with, Lord, my mind just went blank. I forgot what you said.
With the money coming out from with shipping. So
Ship.
some people's shipping money comes out of their eBay through eBay, the through eBay account, the managed payment. And some people it comes out of their checking or whatever card you would adapt to that.
I have started using myself. This is what I'm doing right now. I do a mixture of both, to be honest. Like sometimes I do eBay. If I think of it, I actually put it on a credit card. As weird as that sounds, but the reason being is because I get a 1.5% cash back that I can actually make on my shipping that is business money, and I'm making that 1.5%, and then I just pay off the card every time I get payout the same way. So that's something you can do. I mean, if you forget to do it, there's some lady screaming in the background. I don't know what she's doing, but like, but, yeah. If you can be disciplined about that, I would encourage you to do that. If you can't be disciplined, don't do that because you get yourself in a mess. Like that's just my little 2 cents. What do you guys can think?
Here's one thing that I want to say on just kind of like as a we don't like a lot of people that remember when managed payments first came out and everyone's like the sky's falling and all that stuff. With eBay, we have to understand, and I always talk about the technological marvel it is in engineer, computing engineering. Think about this. When they're rolling out managed payments, think about how many sellers there are and how many transactions a day are happening where money is filing into our bank accounts. And I think there's only been like 2 or 3 times in the past, 2 years of managed payments that there's been a hiccup or a glitch. I think that's pretty dang awesome. I'm just going to say that. So, yeah.
I never buy eBay labels. There's no point. I don't know. There's no. No. So all my money for shipping comes out of my account that's attached to my pirate ship account. But yeah, so it's that's where it is for me. I guess also there's been some funny business in the past when it comes to purchasing labels and getting charged a little extra from eBay on purchasing labels. So yeah, so I keep my my shipping cost associated through my account on Pirate Ship, and that doesn't even come. You got to be careful with that too. You know me, like I come from a background of overdraft. Okay, so you gotta be, you gotta let, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just, I'm gonna be honest with you. I come from a background of overdraft. Like before there was like overdraft protection, they didn't have that stuff back in my days of irresponsible fiscal living habits. So the pirate ship doesn't charge you if you buy enough labels. Pirate ship won't charge you the day that like immediately when you buy the label. It'll all come through as one lump sum at 1 a.m. the day that night, morning, day after you actually purchased all the labels. But if you go a couple of days without purchasing the labels, they'll charge you immediately for that first label that you purchased during your day of shipping labels, and then everything else will roll over to the 1 a.m. Withdrawal from your account.
All right, Leroy, you got any more thoughts?
Yeah, well, I have an answer for the question that I asked. I mean, can I have the answer for the question I asked? Yeah, I'm giving you a question. I can give you the answer.
Hey,
So,
Leroy, do you have any thoughts about that question?
yeah, you can make me forget what I was going to say.
Hey, I can't even remember the question, man.
No, for me, I want my money to be out when it's out. So I don't want to have to worry about it. Did it come out of this account? Do I have enough in that account? When it's out, it's out. Like eBay, take your money. So when I get my payout, I get my payout. I don't want to worry about Tom, Frank, Tracy. Nope. I just want my money. I'm sort of like Tim, and I'll tell you 2 things. One thing is if you do weekly payouts, you got to remember that there's a transfer time to your bank. It's not eBay's thing, it's yours. So whatever your bank time is from eBay to your bank. Now my money goes in on Tuesday morning, but I really don't see it in my bank account until Thursday. That's when I get so, but I do it consistently. So every Thursday, I know that I'm gonna get. I'll know what it is on Tuesday and Thursday. That amount goes into my account. The shipping is already out. Nobody else gets any more money. I'm golden. And what Tim said about the overdraft thing, I have definitely bought a car through overdraft. Definitely. If I haven't spent $7,000 in overdrafts, boo boo's a fool.
Jeez. Been there, hand to mouth, man. Like I think some of us go through that struggle, and then we figure it out. I think that's why a lot of us hustle the way we do, because we're like, man, you don't want to get back on that train. I will tell you though, just a little insert. I my suggestion to you as a new reseller is keep an eye on it, just to be honest, because if you do UPS or FedEx, like you're not going to see that charge automatically, and then you all of a sudden one day you look at your account, you're like, where did that come from? It's because the label finally processed, and so then you're going to get charged. So that doesn't come out automatically if you're using eBay. Tim, does it come out automatically on Pirate Ship if you're buying a FedEx label or a UPS label? They don't do FedEx, but UPS label.
What do you? Yeah, it all works the same whether it's UPS or USPS.
Yeah. So
it's
like
the same
until
method.
until the label processes, you don't pay for that actual.
Well, no, it's I pay for it as soon as I buy it. I'm technically paying for it,
Okay.
but it doesn't come out of my account until 1 a.m.
Yeah,
It all lumps it all together as one thing. So like, say I'm shipping like 15 items, and 13 of them are USPS and 2 are UPS. It's the total amount of money used to purchase those labels will be the amount that they take out at 1 a.m.
Yeah. So and there's a few things too to think about. Like, so if you're purchasing the labels through eBay, the FedEx, UPS labels will not be charged to you until they're scanned through, until they've already been gone through. Then they will be charged to you. So, like, if you're like, okay, cool, I've paid for all my shipping, why did I get this charge? That's what happened. Is it's UPS or FedEx. There's other things like you can go in and set your settings to not draft off your eBay account, but actually draft off a card. That's what I was talking about. So you can do that as well. So those are things to keep in mind. I will tell you on the overdraft front, I encourage guys like try to separate your business and your personal, because it does create a problem if you're not careful. If you need a bank account, chime.com, like link down below, you can jump on and get a separate account if you want. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost anything. In fact, your first deposit you will get, if you have a direct deposit drop through, like say if you linked your eBay account to it, you get $100 using the link down below. And they have a $200 overdraft that's absolutely free. Doesn't charge you a fee if you draft into it. But that's just my little plug for Chime. Look, if you're here and we mentioned a thing, I actually use Chime personally myself. I'm not telling you something, and I'm not trying to paint rainbows and ponies. I'm telling you, I've used it. It's great. If you use it and you have a problem, contact Chime. Okay, like they'll make it right. They have it for me. So,
and if we're in the money thing, you also, I'm sorry to cut you off, Eric. I just didn't want you to forget me again. But you also have to keep in mind you have eBay monthly fees, because sometimes I will go into my account and I'll be like,
worst.
"What do you
That's
mean I bought $59?" Not realizing, so I could have made a sale and I didn't want to give them a $10 discount, and then I go and I check, and I have a weekly quota that I try to make, and I will give you a deal depending on if I made my quota or not, just for real. So, make sure you pay attention to when that comes out every month. And like Eric and all those guys said, we're all about our money. So the reason why I'm excited about this, and we're all sort of excited, is because our money is our money. We don't do this because we're bored. So just pay attention to when certain bills get paid out of your eBay or whatever platform you're in. Make sure you know when their monthly fees, if there is any, come out. And I'm going to shut up for the rest of the show.
yeah, I'm coming back to you here soon. Now, for us, I mean, when you think about the money side of eBay, like I said, just be aware. Be aware. Like, make sure that you have that stuff down. I mean, the other thing that I would just forewarn you, if you're brand new and you just started selling, when you get a return, they're taking that money out of what's processing. Like, they're not taking it out. They're taking it out of your current payout. Like, they're not taking it out of, oh, I just sold something. Yeah, they're still taking it out of the money that should be going through. So little things like that, just to be aware. Like, especially when you're first getting started, it definitely can be a shock to the system. If you ever sell a massive item like I have before and get a return on it, and you're like, hey, I'm now $600 in the hole on my eBay account, like, because it's just sitting over there waiting. Are they going to return it actually, or are they not? So it's one of those things. Just treat it like a business, and we'll look out. We have one more quick question, and then we're going to get in. I say quick question. We're going to start with Leroy first. International shipping. So I know I saw a little trend that's happened for me. GSP has now switched over for me to eBay International, and I actually got a little uptick. Leroy, what about international sales for you? First of all, do you do them, and have you seen any change in it?
I do the regular. Well, I just do the eBay global shipping. But
Yeah,
you guys said they're switching that. I don't even
yeah,
know much about that.
yeah.
But all I'd say is like my sales. I might get like 2 a month of global shipping. I don't get a lot.
They have different tools overseas, is what it is. Like,
No, they
They
buy
use the
stuff.
metric system.
yeah,
They buy stuff, but with my lower dollar items, they don't want to buy something for $10 and pay $23 shipping.
yeah. I feel you.
So
Tim?
Yeah, I use the international eBay global shipping station, space station. This is a Russian space station. Uh, Quote from Armageddon. Great movie, by the way. Yeah, I use that thing. But I haven't sold anything international in a while, so no change in difference for me. I just click the button and then press list. But that's
and
pretty
it goes
much
to
where I'm at.
Kentucky.
Yeah, it's
Mine's going to
that's a
Illinois now. That's a change that I
Yeah,
did notice.
yeah, Illinois. Yeah.
Cernoch, what do you got going
Um. Now, listen. I used to be in that like, oh, don't forget GSP and just send it international, do all the things, and then COVID hit, things got shut down, and half my international packages went poof missing. Okay,
on?
they made
They
it
went to
they made it
Jamaica, New York,
they made it to
and
Jamaica,
never
New
left.
York, and I'm not saying they did this, but they probably looked around and said, throw that on the burn, or send it,
Yeah.
or
It's like a
Package is not COVID.
it's like
or send it to all these like send it to the post office missing package place. Okay, listen, some high end items I was sending overseas just got lost. No, so I just switched over to GSP and have never looked back. Here's the thing, I don't have to mess with it. If the GSP was great, the new one's even better because, man, once it makes it to that first destination, it's over. Like your liability is basically over. If the package gets damaged or anything like that along the way or something happens, you get compensated for it, which I think is awesome. So I believe in this in the international shipping program, and I'm gonna keep using it. So
you said something earlier about the when you send the sneakers. Same thing to me with the global shipping. Don't overpack it because most of the time they have to open it and make sure the weights are right,
yep,
and they might don't like. I'm not saying underpack it, but don't go super crazy because when you'll get pictures and they'll be like, "Oh, this is what you sent me. I didn't send it to you like
yeah,
that. I didn't even use that bag." So when you send it overseas, don't be surprised because sometimes it gets repackaged.
yeah, and I would rather them have them take care of all that stuff than me because again, once your thing goes overseas, like, bye. Like, I don't know, hey,
Bye, Felicia.
I mean, I had, man, I'll tell you this one time. I had a hat going to Thailand. And, bro, the place it was supposed to end up, I'm like, I looked it up on Google Maps. I'm like, yo, how do they even find this address? You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, yo, eBay, I trust you. With my business, I trust you with my shipping. Have at it. And ever since I've gone to GSP and even this new eBay international shipping, I haven't had an issue. Now, here's the thing: for some newer viewers, this is not that we are not talking about there's another international shipping thing that it's called international standard delivery. Okay, I think where it's like it basically does it first class international, and that's different than what we're talking about. Okay, we're talking about where you literally send it to Illinois, or it used to be Kentucky, now it's Illinois, maybe it's somewhere else, but you literally send your package there, and from there they take care of it. So
I think West Coast guys go somewhere else, but I know East Coast guys is definitely Illinois is where I'm going. I will tell you, I mean, I got a little uptick switching from, like, it switched me automatically. Yeah. I just looked up one day, I was like, wait a minute, this is going to Illinois, this is international. So I saw that change, but I've had a little uptick. I don't know if it's just merely coincidence. Like, I shipped out today, I think 3 international sales. And some of it's based on what you sell. I know. I would tell you this, man. If you sell anything Coleman, dude, Coleman lanterns, for some reason, Japanese people love Coleman lanterns. Like, they go there. Probably 9 out of 10 of mine go to Japan.
Yeah. I do know that they did make the shipping cheaper for the buyers, the international buyers. It's way cheaper for Canada now. I think they did a little maneuvering in there, and I've gotten a lot more Canadian sales now because with GSP it was a lot more expensive.
They had to pay like a tax or something.
Yeah, it was very expensive to ship to Canada, and I think they really rolled back a lot of those expenses for shipping to Canada. So I think you'll see definitely a lot more Canadian buyers.
They're using the balloons now. That's what the whole test was.
Now,
they're parachuting it in.
Right.
I will tell you guys, this is like I don't know that it's breaking news, but I just got a notification from eBay as we were speaking, because eBay listens. That's why we love
eBay sales.
That's why we say that stuff. So eBay sent me a notification saying that if you do not, as far as the authenticity guarantee eligibility, that if you don't update your listings by April 24th, they'll actually take them down if you have things that are in that higher bracket. That's what it says. To take advantage of free shipping labels in the additional protections, please revise your list and enable eBay shipping as the domestic service of your existing authenticity guaranteed sneakers.
Yep.
So if you have higher end sneakers, you might just want to go double check your listings, make sure you're good with that. Don't want anybody to say, I thought I had these listed and they haven't sold. And then you would know why, because they're not listed anymore.
Yep.
So that's just a little breaking news nugget on top of what we have already discussed. Hey, I will tell you guys, we appreciate each and every one of you so much for being here. Like we've said on multiple occasions, if you have questions, comments, we are taking all of those, and we definitely appreciate it. If you have any thoughts about something you want to hear about, even as far as a deep dive or something that you know about or want to know about, anything trending, anything in the 101, like a hack, like how do you do this? Feel free to ask, and we'll be happy to answer.
Definitely.
So we thank you for looking to what is that called? Like the silver anniversary is 25 years. So I guess maybe next month is our next episode would be our silver soon.
Yes.
That's all right. Silver. We're not making 25 years. I don't think we'll make 25 years. If we do, we'll be like, all right, Sonny.
This is episode
My 7-Eleven
7695. My 7-Eleven point total is 1 trillion.
I've got stock in 7-Eleven now. They told me they couldn't give me any more points.
half of the show would be Tim like 1,002,700,000.
Like today, me forgetting what that question was, that would be our entire show. Just like, what were you talking about? Cernoch, what did you do?
Well, hopefully y'all learned something about hats today and new era. So get to selling those hats. I want to thank thank our panel today. You know what I'm saying? Listen, and I know I said before, we're just trying to give good knowledge. We're not trying to like go above and beyond and tell you this is the only way to do it. Everything's different. We're just giving you best practices from experience. You know what I'm saying? Anything I tell y'all, I've done myself. I've put in the work. I've done myself. I've made the mistakes, so I don't want, a newer seller going, oh, well, I didn't know about that, so that's why that's why we're giving you the information, you never know. You might walk into the thrift today and find a $300 pair of sneakers. So I definitely want to give you that information to make you be able to, sell it and be protected at the same time. That's why we go through these things. And that's why, that's why we do this every week. It's, listen, it's not for us, it's for y'all. So hopefully y'all are taking advantage of the information that we're giving y'all. So yeah, that's my piece.
Leroy.
Listen, guys, none of this is edited much. If there's a little hiccup, most of the stuff is the real. Like you'll notice one show might be an hour and 10 minutes, the next show might be an hour and 32 minutes. Like we're real. Like when we get into it and we get excited, Tim gets excited, I get excited. That's because we're excited to tell you stuff. We have conversation in what we all love to do. I mean, I love doing what I do. I don't care if it's a $2 screw or an $80 sneaker. I don't sell sneakers, but I don't really care. So we do this for you guys. So we really ask if you guys could, make sure you watch our videos. Make sure you hit the like button, and if you have any, like he said, if you have any hacks or anything that you have for us, please let us know. Thank you.
Tim.
Cue the music. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of another wonderful episode of the Reseller Information Network, brought to you by Eric Obxpicker, Chris, aka Tank Cernochs Connection, and Leroy Blood, Sweat, and So. We want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in, not just today, but every single time that we go live or we drop a pre-recorded video. It does mean the world to us, and we hope you are having fun, and most importantly, we hope you are learning. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget to leave some questions below so that we can give you guys some more information every single time we go live. And I know I said most importantly, but even more importantly than the most important thing, don't forget to tell a friend about RIN, Reseller Information Network.